Okay, hello, this is Wmpyr here with to talk about my fourth Tai Chi class that I've attended so far in recent times. Yeah, does not include any of the Tai Chi stuff that I did many years ago. So yeah, fourth class. Uh, yeah, I am enjoying the class. So today it was like, I don't know, like 20 people in the class, and this is once again Sun Tai Chi for arthritis. You know, basically Tai Chi for health. Now, I'm not necessarily going for health purposes, although that would be nice, but my main focus is Tai Chi for combat. And yeah, I realize that, this is not the class for that. I 100% realize that, But I am interested in the combat aspect. And someone said to me, oh, yeah, the martial arts instructor in Japan that I am good friends with, he told me, he said that the Tai Chi that do the health exercises, they are going to be closer to the original, that they have more successfully preserved this style than the ones that are doing it for combat. He said the ones that are doing it for combat today have evolved so much that it's probably not remotely close to the original, is what he said. And that to me is a very interesting statement that he said. But he is, out of my small group of martial arts friends, he is the Tai Chi expert. So I go to him for Tai Chi stuff. But anyway, right here in the picture, the top row center, it says basics of Tai Chi, the 8 techniques. Yeah, I think I've by now gone through, by the fourth class. We've done possibly these 8 moves, or most of these, more than half for sure. And yeah, I once again have no idea really the difference. It says like ward off, roll back, press, push, pull down, split, elbow strike, and lean. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do any of them properly the Tai Chi way. Ah, so it was something that I noticed today in class. It just really strongly hit me, is that if all you did was this class and you're trying to figure out the combat application, that I was like, it's not going to happen. It really isn't. And I am not referring to being able to do combat just from forms. I realize that is ridiculous, and that is not what I'm talking about. Although I think there's a lot of people think that they can, that this is possible, and that is not what I'm talking about. If you think that you could just do forms and become combat ready, um, oh boy, yeah, oh boy, that is your expectations, I think, are way too high, way off. That you are in probably a fantasy world. So yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. So like, let's say you go to a boxing gym, right? And so I'm not talking about Tai Chi. I'm just talking about boxing. You go to a boxing gym and they teach you the proper mechanics, the form for punching, right? So they're teaching you the form, and you go home and you never go back to class. But they taught you, this is the jab, this is the cross, and maybe this is the hook. Maybe that's it. Forget uppercuts, forget overhand rights, but and forget different kinds of jabs, different kind of crosses. So just those three, right? You learn the form, and you practice those forms over and over and over. You're gonna get better at it, and then you're gonna start to, you know, probably get a friend and say, hey, can we spar a little bit? And you're gonna try those forms. You're gonna buy your own bags, and you're gonna have maybe a heavy bag at home, maybe a speed bag, and then you start practicing on those, and you start working a little bit, and then you might start jump roping and running, and so from there, can you develop into a better boxer? Not a professional boxer, but can you develop into, someone that is really studying the art of boxing? And I believe you can. I believe that is a decent, solid start, you know. You won't even get to amateur level like that, but I think you could head towards that direction. Um, and same with Escrima. You get sticks, and maybe you watch some videos on YouTube, and you practice the forms. And remember, just forms is not enough. So then you start actually hitting something. Like I've said to you guys, tire training is excellent, where you actually hit a tire. Um, and there's other stuff that I've also recommended to you guys. And then maybe you get padded sticks and you do some sparring with a friend that's also interested. So from there, can you really start to uncover the art of Escrima? And I believe 100%. With Tai Chi, I don't think you can do that. Yeah, I really don't. So why not? I feel like Tai Chi is. This is just my impression. Okay, I could be way off, but I don't think Tai Chi was anything like common sense. This was really the advanced stuff for an advanced martial artist. Therefore, none of it is like common sense. You know what I mean? Once you get to a level, a high enough level, then maybe it becomes common sense. But for someone looking at this and going, I don't know this stuff, and then working from there, I don't think you can really acquire this. Yeah. Um, yeah, it doesn't work that way. Whereas I've said to you guys before that Escrima, like if you learned a little bit of Escrima and you ended up in a deserted island, you can reverse engineer the rest of the art. I really do believe that because it's so logical. And in a sense, it is quite direct, but also the art of the Filipino attitude is very, very loose in a sense that, like for example, Heaven Six. How do you use the Heaven Six? And there's many ways. It is a Swiss Army tool, a Swiss Army knife of martial arts techniques. So if you start developing a defensive way to use the Heaven Six, and someone else develops a more offensive, and another person develops a more counter-fighting, all three of those, from the Filipino view, is correct because the Filipinos are, to me, very laid back, but they're also very, what's the word, resourceful, because these are guerrilla warfare fighters. So that's in their nature, that's in their blood. They're very resourceful. Tai Chi, I don't think is that way. It's very, very specific. Not to say that each one of these moves do not have multiple meanings and multiple uses, because they probably do, but I think there's something very, very specific there going on. And, I just think, in a way that is something that's very high level, so I'm not putting it down, but in another way, it is like calculus, so it is extremely difficult. But fortunately, the founders of Tai Chi, the experts, have figured out a way that even for those of us that do not know calculus, could still make use of Tai Chi, which is brilliant, and that is the health aspect. So for someone like me that, even though I've had full contact training, I look at Tai Chi and it just blows my mind. I'm like, I really have no clue. And um, I think that's okay. That is okay. Something like this can exist in the world, and I'm glad it does. And maybe it's not meant for me, but I will continue to practice it. And at the very least, I will be hopefully getting health benefits. I think without a doubt I will, because as far as the health benefits go, I think it is very common sense. But the combat part of Tai Chi is not. So that is my main topic for today, and I felt that while practicing today. But even if it's just one move, one technique, if I could figure that out, or even come close to, maybe not figuring it out, but like uh, 30% or maybe 10%, I'd be happy. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.